This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to Finish Lines and Milestones, a podcast for everyday runners. I'm your host, Allie Bretnacher, and if you run, you're a runner, and every runner has a story. You are now listening to a very special series that I'm launching this year in 2026 with my coach, Rachel Sinders of Rachel Michelle Running, Team RMR. If you're watching the video, I'm wearing my swag. But I thought it'd be fun to have another series that's once a month, just to talk to my coach. You can hear more about my personal running journey, wins, struggles, races. They're going to be a little shorter than my normal podcast episodes, but I thought it'd be fun. So I hope you like it. And if you are in search of a coach or curious about what run coaching is or involves, obviously you should reach out to Rachel. So she is supporting this series of the podcast. So thanks for being here. And without further ado, I hope you like this conversation with my coach, Rachel. All right, Coach Rachel, good to see you.
Hi. Yes. Hi. Welcome to 2026 here. This is our first time chatting in the new year.
It is. And we just about ran together, which is so funny.
Yeah. Literally, we started our run within like 2 minutes of each other. I just went a different direction. But if I had gone your way, we would have seen each other.
Yeah.
So
next time
we'll coordinate better.
Yeah. So for people who are new to this podcast entirely, it would be a weird episode to start on because this is a new series that we're going to do once a month, ideally the first Wednesday of the month, where you and I just catch up. And selfishly, it gives me more of an outlet to talk about my own training and my own running and allow people to get to know you better and also understand more of what it's like to work with a running coach. I think will be kind of cool. So,
and I mean, for me, I think it's going to be really helpful to hear more of your feedback because, yeah, we run together often on Fridays and I see that and I hear from you, but to really like dive deeper into it will just make our coach athlete relationship stronger too and give me more feedback to like help you grow as an athlete.
Yeah.
So win-win for both of us.
Win-win. I love it. And it's funny doing this remote just because you and I live like literally 3 miles apart. But
yeah,
selfishly for both of our time, it was nice just to be able to hop on and record virtually. But I'm so lucky that I, as an athlete, have my coach live so close and that we do get to run together frequently. I know not everybody is so lucky.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, it is a huge perk, but obviously it's not necessary. I have plenty of athletes that live in other states, but I do get feedback sometimes from them that they are jealous of the little community we have here and stuff. And
yes.
So it's good. It's good. Okay. So if we want to start diving into it,
let's do it.
I really want to talk about last year. So 2025, kind of reflect on the year itself and what we learned from last year, what went well, what didn't go well, any feedback that you can think of that comes to mind that we can use then for 2026 planning. I think truly that like reflecting back on the prior year is really like an underrated tool that we have because it's easy to be like, here's my highlight reel, what went well, but like truly what didn't go well is where we like learn. So sometimes asking like questions that you outside the box other than like, oh, what are your race highlights? What's your PR? I mean, there's so much more to running than just, hey, did you have any PRs this year? So I think I sent you a long list of questions because I was like, okay, there's so many different areas to talk about. And then I was like, okay, I have about 25 questions. I'm going to make it 26 questions for 26 miles.
Oh, that's so
marathon.
Funny. I don't know if you
noticed.
No, I did not. That's so great.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to talk about the last year and how it went. So I think it's important to look at, like I said, the prior year. So for question for you is when you think back on your past year of running, what moments really stand out for you?
Well, I think it's easy to say that in terms of this year, I wanted to make it more enjoyable and meaningful versus a year of PRs. So spoiler alert, no PRs for me this year, but that wasn't our goal going into the year. So what stands out to me most is the marathon that I ran with Ainsley's Angels. I mean, it's easy. It's one that like a challenge, an opportunity I never thought I would tackle. I mean, but having it kind of come together as an opportunity for the 50th Marine Corps Marathon Like that for me was really the highlight in like choosing to not have my running and my marathon be about me and my time, but more about giving somebody else the experience of an environment and a race like that I love so much. So it was a really different year, especially for people listening who are like chasing PRs. It's like that was not the goal or the plan this year. So,
and what I think too is like really admirable is that your training did go really well. And if you wanted to go and race that, you probably would have PR'd, but you were willing to be like, that's not my priority. I'm going to do this instead. So, I mean, I think that takes a lot of strength right there. Some people would be like, oh, the PR is way too important. Like I'm too fit. I mean, but you put in a solid training cycle of work for someone else to have their amazing race that you could see them through to the finish line. So I just think that's really cool and really strong and brave of you. It makes me like tear off right now.
Oh my gosh. I was like, are you just crying? I love it. Thank you.
I just think it's so, I don't know, like it's something that not a lot of people do. And in social media too, you just get so caught up in like PRs, and you want to qualify for Boston and everyone's doing it and everyone's doing all the world majors. So for you, you are on social media and you have a good following to really be like, no, this is not what's important to me. I don't care what everyone else is doing. I'm going to follow my heart. So I think you did a really good job of that this year.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It was a great experience. So anybody who might be heading into this year feeling overwhelmed and not necessarily feeling like they want to continue chasing times, it's a great opportunity for that. But I think as I go into this year, I would like to, piggyback on my training and keep getting more fit and faster. But last year, yeah, it was fun to just have it be kind of more about community and giving back to the community. I don't know that I officially paced anything this year. I don't think so. That was probably 2024.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Did I? No.
You didn't do Indie Women's,
Yeah,
so.
no. Yeah, but that's another way I've thought about it. Giving back, volunteering, being a part of races in the community. It's just, I think it's okay to take a year to do that and then just enjoy it. Especially, I think coming off of a year before that where I PR'd my marathon, that I put in so much work and grind to do that. And so it just felt kind of nice to not necessarily ease off, because I told you at the beginning of last year, like, I want to keep training.
I wouldn't say you eased off. You got for sure more fit. And I mean, I just think that's just going to carry forward. So
yeah,
it went well. What else? Moving on here. So we kind of talked about what you're most proud of. Was there times when like training this past year felt like harder or heavier than you anticipated or expected? Or did you always feel like it was manageable? I mean, obviously, as you're my coach, it's my goal to make it manageable for you within reason. I mean, as you're obviously building for a marathon, there's going to be more demand. But
yeah,
was it ever like, this is too much?
No. And I think a lot of that comes with the season of life I'm in and the flexibility I have too. So I'm able to, traditionally I did my long runs on Wednesdays. Then we moved them to Fridays as they got longer so that we could do them together. Which we didn't always, but a lot of times we would share some of those miles, which I feel like goes a long way. I never felt, there were certainly workouts I looked at and I was like, oh shit, like, can I do this?
Yeah.
But, I think that's how it's supposed to be, especially as I'm looking to improve as an athlete.
For sure. I mean, you want to be challenged. And it was always like, no matter how hard the workout looked on paper, you did it. I mean, I think that's like the coolest thing is like seeing someone like, you can do it, even if it looks hard and seems hard.
Or sometimes you can't, because there were times where, workouts get hard, you cut part of it short for whatever reason. I think the heat this summer caused that a couple times.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to think I'm like perfect.
You're not. No one is. But too, with training and coaching, it's like I try to realize like we're running through the heat. You're not going to be able to go out and sustain a hard marathon pace for 5-6 miles at a time. Like we're going to need some more recovery in there or smaller chunks of marathon pace. And it goes for anyone that I have athletes that train in much warmer climates. So I really have to think like, is this manageable without like overdoing it? And then you push yourself too hard and you're like down in the dump and you don't recover fast enough. So it's a lot of managing weather.
Yeah.
Through the sun. I mean, if you're training for a fall half, it's a lot of weather.
Yeah. You did a good job of sending emails to the team as you usually do.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, like we got to adjust your expectations here because your paces have to change. You can't. It's not the same effort to hold a marathon pace in 70 degrees and humid as it is 40 degrees and not humid.
Yeah.
So it's just being realistic.
Yeah. The other thing I would point out about my training in terms of like parts that felt really tough, like again, back to Ainsley's Angels, like you were pushing somebody else. And so I tried to incorporate that into my training when I could. I did it with my daughter, Sydney, who's 8, as much as I could before she had to go back to school. And then other times, gosh, I pushed my neighbor's kid once. I pushed my nephew once when he was in town. I pushed a kettlebell one time.
Yeah, I was going to say, you pushed some weights or something.
I did some hill work because Marine Corps Marathon has some hills. So I remember I went over to Cool Creek and put a kettlebell in there. And I remember doing that workout just thinking like, I don't know how I'm going to do this for a marathon. But as you know, like that's not the reality of the situation, especially when you're in a race environment. But I mean, there were times where I was like, I don't know how this is going to go for 26.2.
I think you did a really good job preparing. Like you have to do what you can with the circumstances we have here to prepare. And you really did a good job making that work.
Yeah.
So I think just with any race, preparation is key, knowing what the course is looking like, knowing what the terrain is like. You have to take all those things into consideration when you train.
Yeah.
So let's see what worked really well for you this year. I mean, you already kind of touched on moving your long runs to Friday so you have more community, more people to run with, which it goes for anyone. I know like you and I both have flexible schedules, but I really try for any athletes I coach. Like you don't have to do your long run on a Saturday. Like there's nowhere that says that you have to go Saturday morning. Like say you're a nurse and you work different shifts, let's move your long run around and make it work. So flexibility, I think, is key there. Anything else you can think
Yeah,
of
I was trying to think if I don't know, I'm sure I had to move a long run or two. What I really like that you do for me in particular is I'm a Peloton girl. So I have the bike, I have the tread, so I can do their strength. And so, you've been doing this now for me for years, but plugging that into my cross training always helps me because I love running, but I don't necessarily want to run every day, nor does my body want that. And so that's continued to work well in terms of my cross training. Probably looking forward to this year. I want to get stronger too on the weight side of things, but I know I at least do, one strength workout a week, which has been really good.
You did a good job sticking with that.
Especially with my arms, again, the upper body strength for the race, which
training your upper
was
body.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. The strength thing was one thing that we can get to and talk about, but I was going to try and like work on adding some more strength for you. Just especially right now, since you're not in marathon training season, like that's the low-hanging fruit that you can really work on right now.
Yeah.
Is adding in another strength day. So we can get to that, but that's just one thing that I thought about when reflecting about over the last year for you. Is there anything like that was a big struggle that you had over this past year? Like anything that's not like serving you well? I mean, it could be anything like the comparison trap, or do you feel like you did? I mean, for the most part, I feel like you present yourself as not really comparing yourself, but I'm sure there's moments when it hits you.
Totally.
From a running standpoint, we don't have to talk about from the podcasting standpoint and stuff like that. But
well, I think it's all across the board, especially when you're on social media and the internet. It's so easy to do, like look at Strava and be like, gosh, like I should be hitting those paces, or my workout compared to their workout. And it's like, or like, I felt some jealousy certainly of my friend Becky Riley, her stellar performance at Monumental.
Yeah. She really crushed it. And you guys shared so many miles together. So it is hard to know that like that could probably have been you.
Maybe. Who knows? But
who knows?
Obviously I'm super happy for her. But I think as just humans, we always are going to compare, and comparison is the thief of joy. So I didn't let it, I just was like, damn, like I want to do that, but I didn't let it like really get me down or anything. Cause I definitely made the conscious decision not to do that. But it also gave me hope that, okay, like we did a lot of our training together. So that means that, maybe I can go do that. So time will tell.
Yeah. Time will tell. We got a whole year ahead to look forward to.
I did have my knee bothered me a little bit through some of my training.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough to take me out. I started going to physical therapy, and that helped some for sure. Got new shoes again, kind of your typical things. But I was glad that it didn't, that I took care of myself, that I didn't escalate into something that put me out. And then in the fall, I got sick twice, which is like, well, I count my most recent cold and disaster over the holidays. But after fall break, I got sick, which is so frustrating. Especially that was right before
That was
the marathon.
right before the race.
So I kind of freaked out about that. I remember calling my doctor's office and like, I got to talk to somebody. Usually I wouldn't worry about a cold, but like, I can't be sick.
Yeah, this is important timing right
Yeah,
here. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I think definitely one of your strengths is like being aware of your body and how you feel and knowing that like your knee was bothering you a little bit. Okay, we have really great resources here in Carmel and Indy. Like who can you go see? And you don't waste any time for the most part.
Well, I was
I know
going to
it was
say, I was in
lingering for a
denial
little
for a
bit,
while.
but like you were in denial. You admitted it to me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need to take some steps. But I mean, that you handled it quite well. Like to go see someone and to make steps to make it better and stuff is great. So I guess that's a strength, I would say, that you were aware of how you felt, especially when you're sick. You're like, hey, I'm not feeling good. Like, I think doing this workout is going to do me no favors and I need to skip it. Like,
Yeah.
totally understand. I mean, you have to be honest with yourself as much as you don't want to skip or miss a workout. It just, the reality is we all have those days. So being honest with yourself is a huge strength, I think.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I was looking at my spread. I had my spreadsheet open because I was actually, I wanted to reflect and see like, oh yeah, like what did I do this year? I did actually do that via Instagram. I looked at my races and I was like, wow, I ran 5 half marathons and a marathon this year. And my fastest half marathon was Indy half was my fastest, which surprised me because yeah, the last three
Yeah.
years, Indy half, I've run a 148 something, which is funny.
Okay.
The last 3 years, literally. And those have all been my fastest years. This was my 5th year doing that race.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my fastest, followed by Vegas, which was my first race of the year. And then the Indy half is in October. So almost my last race of
So,
the
I
year.
mean, that just goes to show you how good of shape you were in from marathon training. I mean, I love having any athletes that do a half as like a tune-up race before a marathon because you are in really good shape and you weren't specifically training for that half, but your fitness carried over and you had a great day.
Yeah, it was. I remember it feeling hard, but I can't remember if it was warm that day or not. But I remember
I think it was warmer, right?
yeah,
Like
I thought it was.
humid. Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's not an easy course either.
I mean, got a couple hills for sure, which was good leading into my marathon again for sure. Yeah.
So, what else? What are some things that excite you as you look into 2026? Just it doesn't have to be a certain race or just like what's fun? What makes you happy this year or that you think will?
Well, I think just kind of carrying on the mindset I had in the last year in terms of just like making sure that it's fun always. Because I do, now that running is such a big part of my life, like you could say like quote unquote professionally as well. It's like I really worry about burnout. And so as I look into this year, I just know that I have the right mindset continuing to go into the year and not take myself all that seriously, but also just work hard and continue to enjoy the sport. So I'm also becoming a master's runner this year.
Yeah.
So I turned 40
summertime.
in the summer. So that's kind of fun. So I'm thinking about ways to celebrate that. So yeah, I think I'm excited to kind of continue the same mindset and momentum and just kind of see what I can get on the calendar.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this last year, 2025, that mindset worked really well for you. So continue. And I think too, touching on like running with friends and stuff, I think that made a big difference. Not, I mean, for you, for me, for other runners that I coach or friends of yours and ours, it gives you something to look forward to. I mean,
Yeah.
it really helps with like lack of burnout, like accountability. You have people that show up at a certain time and you go. And I think you were very instrumental in making that happen, like inviting people to join and run together and getting a group together. So that's one thing that I hope that I know you enjoyed and that you'll continue into next year as well.
Yeah.
That made a big difference.
The other thing I want to make sure I talk about while we're still thinking about last year is the struggle I had on race day for my marathon when it came to my nerves. So because it was just it was so surprising to me, frankly, how my body reacted. I have shared this before, but I went off of my anti-anxiety antidepressants. So come race day, I was on nothing because my doctor and I decided I'd been on an SSRIs for years. We agreed like I should just I could just see what would happen if I made that change. Like,
I mean, and I don't think you're alone in that either.
Yeah. Which is why I want to talk about it.
I still am from having kids 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And like you, because I'm like, I don't know if I want to stop, you know? So, and there's a lot of us that like postpartum, it's pretty common to need something to get through that time period.
Yeah.
So, okay, continue on.
And so, it is so common. And the more I talk about it, the more people are like, oh yeah, like that's totally, the same here. But I just wanted to see how my body would react. I don't know why I made that decision when I was going to have a marathon in there. I didn't really think about it, frankly.
Yeah.
But I would recommend maybe not doing that if you have like a big life event that is going to take place during that time. I guess part of me was like thinking maybe my body would feel good, like better, but that just wasn't the case for me. So come race day, I couldn't even eat the morning of the race. It was so bad. I was so nervous. And again, it wasn't even for a time goal. It was because I was doing it for someone else and I was so afraid that I wouldn't get to the finish line somehow. And so now I'm working with my doctor to go back. I'm not going on an SSRI. I'm going on Wellbutrin, which is a different class of drug, which I did not know. And so we're going to see how that works. But frankly, my body is still feeling the effects of not being on something, which has not been fun, frankly. So if other people have dealt with that or dealing with that, it's like, it really does and can impact your running in the way that like my body would not, like I could not control how my body was feeling. And it was awful. I think I finally felt better at mile 20. It was so weird, but I mean,
I listened to your race recap and I like pretty sure you said that too.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if you felt more pressure because it was someone else that you were pushing.
I think so.
Like if it had just been you going out and racing,
I don't know.
I'm sure
I probably would have
felt
been
some anxiety for sure. Like, cause if you were trying to go out and PR, that's a lot of emotion right there. But I do think that added level of knowing like you are responsible for another person.
Yes.
Just took it to the next level.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell happens if I can't, do it? Turns out somebody can, somebody who is not running will come get you. That happened to somebody actually on that day.
Really?
I went up and Rooster, who is Ainsley's dad, he was not there and I was bummed because I wanted to introduce him to the guy I ran with, but he was out helping push somebody in, which I was like, okay, well,
wow.
I guess good to know.
So that's really good that they have a plan in place if that does happen. But I'm glad that did not happen to you.
Right.
But you ended up lucking out and having a friend.
My guardian angel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So thankfully for you, your day went really well. But it's never fun to feel those emotions and to feel like your mind is out of control.
Well, it made me wonder, like, frankly, I thought to myself after that, I was like, how the hell will I ever go qualify for Boston if I put that much pressure on myself? That kind of scared me a little bit because it's like, okay, I got to figure that out. So, I guess you could say that's something else that excites me looking into 2026 is it's like, I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to get dialed in terms of, what my body needs when it comes to, anxiety and depression.
There's a lot of resources out there too about like mental strength coaches when it comes to running and stuff. I know I've listened to quite a few podcasts about it and stuff. So I can send you some of those resources.
That'd be good.
I think that would be really helpful. I mean, I know you talked with your doctor about a different medication, but you don't want to just rely solely on that. Like I think there is some work that you could do on your own that would help.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a
that's not an
therapist,
issue
which
anymore.
helps. Highly recommend
Yes.
therapy. She has recommended to me that I should try meditating, but that's kind of
Okay.
like my physical therapy. I didn't necessarily do my exercises. I don't, I should probably meditate more. I mean, there's always
So
things like that
maybe
you can
you could
do
do your physical therapy exercises and meditate
at
at
the
the same
same time.
time. So you can kill two birds with one
There we go.
stone.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
all the boring work out of the way as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
Yes, runners, they don't like to do the
No.
boring things.
So,
I get it.
yeah.
What else? Should we talk about like anything you want to try different this year for training?
Yeah. I mean, I will. I'm glad that we're going to do this every month because it's going to be nice to have some. I feel like I still need time to think about and like put my goals for running like on paper. I'm not huge about having goals, not because I don't want to have a plan to go attack them, but because of the pressure, that I put on myself, not that anybody else puts on me. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it could be like we're like, okay, in 2026, what races excite you?
Yeah.
What are you excited about? And then it could be you have something in the fall that you want to try. Like it doesn't have to be a marathon,
Yeah.
half marathons. You want to make sure you do Indy half again. We wait till we get to that season and be like, do we think you are ready to really PR and put that into it? Or do you just want to go run with some girlfriends and have fun?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't think necessarily in January, February timeframe, we have to be like, this is what the whole year is going to
Yeah.
look like. No one can predict how it's going to go. But I think just finding things that races in particular
Yeah.
that maybe
Yeah.
excite you and would feel like motivating. Like, because I mean, training is a lot. You put in a lot of miles week after week, and you need it to be a race that you are looking forward to.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still noodling on the idea of doing the full mow, which for people who don't know
Yeah.
it's a 50K here and it's on our rail trail, which I spend so many miles on anyway. And so I've thought about that because it could be like a way to mark the big milestone of turning 40, like becoming an ultra marathon before I hit 40. But then there's this thing that I weigh a lot with my family life and my husband in particular. And you've heard me talk about this a lot, and I'm sure people have heard me joke about it. I'm trying to stay married, but there's some reality to that because I could literally sign up for a race every weekend. I mean, I could, and
Yeah.
I want
And
to,
I mean,
but I can't. So
you have other responsibility. Weekend times are precious time. That's like you are flexible in your job that you can run during the week.
yeah,
But it's hard because obviously all races are on the weekends. And that just cuts into like different activities, sports, family events and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I totally get it.
yeah. But we can talk about this next time. But in February, I usually do the Vegas half, but I'm not this year because my dad is doing a golf tournament with my mom. So he's being a good spouse, which is great. We're like, okay, we don't want to get in too much trouble doing this together. So
Yeah.
we're doing the Fort Myers half marathon, which is at the end of February, just a week later than the Vegas one.
Okay.
And then I got invited to run for St. Jude as a hero at the Rock and Roll in DC. And so I was like, ooh, that would be great because I have
That's
family
so
out there.
fun.
I have family out there. It's a great cause. Like I've never done that race. So I think that's going to happen as well. So those will be the first two. And then the 50th Indy Mini is this year, which now I guess putting a bow on this kind of, back to Ainsley's Angels, that is
Yep. Full circle.
what got me started in doing Ainsley's Angels was the Indy Mini. So this will be my third time doing the Indy Mini.
Yeah.
With Ainsley's
Mine
Angels.
too. I'm already signed up to do it for Ainsley's Angels too this year. So I absolutely love it as well. So it'll be a fun year and trying to recruit more people to join us so they can have 50 teams.
I just, I have an email in. Actually, I should just look and see if she got back to me. 45 teams.
Oh, wow.
Wow. She said, I think we'll break 50, no problem.
For
Excellent.
sure. It's only January and they're already to 55.
Or they're 45.
cool.
They're at 45 officially.
Sorry, it's January and they're at 45.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we don't have to. I mean, she told me, Christy High, she's the VP of education for Ainsley's Angels. She lives in Kokomo. She said, I will never turn down legs. So if anybody wants to do it to get
awesome.
involved, it's,
I mean,
it's
maybe
amazing.
just listening to this will inspire some people as I was like tearing up
At
in
the beginning, I
intro
know,
when
well-
we're talking about it. I don't know. obviously I knew you trained for that and did that. And it's just like really sitting down and like thinking about it. I mean, it was like, whoa, that's
Yeah.
like really big thing. And I listened to your race recap, but just, I don't know.
Yeah, it was big.
Hormones.
I cried.
It just hit me.
Yeah, I cried at the end at that finish line. That's for sure. And
Yeah.
it's
Oh my gosh.
it was amazing. So, well, thanks for doing this. Thank you so much for always
Yeah.
supporting me. I mean, you've supported me as an athlete, as you know, for my podcast. If people want to get to know you and your running story, I'll be sure to link to your episode in these as well. And if people want coaching or they want to explore what coaching is, they should reach out to you
I know
too.
you've mentioned several times that when we first met, you were like, what is a running coach?
I was like, I don't need one. Thank you.
Yeah, like running coaches are only for like elite runners, which is totally not the case.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I know you've mentioned that a number of times and stuff. So I thank you for that and your support too. But yeah, I would love to work with more runners. It doesn't have to be local. Anyone is welcome. Any distances. I love helping people and I love helping people reach their goals, and it's fun, and I love getting to know others and developing that relationship and communicating. So I'm here if anyone needs some help this year.
Amen. All right. Well,
Okay.
that was so fun and
It
helpful
was fun.
to think about.
And now I am like, if you are on my roster already of athletes, you're going to be getting some questions similar to this in an email here
Right.
soon, and we're going to be talking. So
Yeah.
I try and do that every year. I feel like the last couple of years I've forgotten. So
Yeah.
this is motivating me to get back on that, because I do really value looking back on prior years and using that as a springboard to think about next year.
Well, thank you everybody for listening and joining for this special series. I think I'm going to call it
Yes.
Catching Up with Coach or something like that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's catchy.
Catchy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Or just really cheesy.
So next month we'll dive more into 2026 goals and talk about how like the month of January went for training and other things that come up. I can share more about too, just other athletes that I coach and what races they're doing. So shout out to Jeff and Jennifer who are running this weekend in Disney.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a big weekend for the Disney World 5K, 10K, half full weekend.
Yeah. Do you have anyone doing Houston?
No.
No. Yeah, that's this weekend too. That race has always intrigued
is.
me. But
It does. I mean, it's usually a good, fast race.
yeah,
So
I'll be interested to see.
hopefully,
Yay.
yes. So good luck to everyone racing this weekend.
Yes. Get the year off to a good start. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm going to stop
Yep.
recording now. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode of Finish Lines and Milestones, Catching Up with Coach, please let me know. This is new. Like I said, this is a brand new series, trying something different. I hope that you enjoyed the conversation. Maybe you learned something or were at least entertained. But please leave me a rating and review or send me a message on Instagram. I'm Allie, ALLYT Brett, BRETT, Allie T Brett _runs. And stay tuned for a brand new episode, normal episode of Finish Lines and Milestones coming to you on Friday, January 9th. It is with Abby Lotkiss. She is the sister-in-law of Alyssa Lotkiss, who was tragically murdered in 2024. A lot of you probably heard that story. Abby, in Alyssa's honor, started a nonprofit organization called Free to Move. So we talk all about Abby and her running journey as well. And then we talk about Alyssa and who she was as a person. And it was a really special episode. And of course, we talk about Free to Move and how to support them. So I'll talk to you again on Friday. Thanks for listening.